She argues with everyone she meets, every single day. Her name is Juniper, and she has been arguing with her humans since the very day she arrived. Some people online called her dramatic. Some called her difficult. One comment even said she looked like she was plotting something behind those golden eyes. But nobody, absolutely nobody, expected what would happen the day her own kittens were born. But to understand why, we have to go back to the beginning. Juniper came from a small breeder outside the city, one of the last kittens in her litter. She was tiny, golden, and already loud before she could even walk properly. The family that adopted her expected a quiet lap cat. What they got instead was a kitten who screamed the moment she was placed in a cardboard box, mouth wide open, ears folded flat against her head like two little flags of protest. "She's just adjusting," the breeder said. She never stopped. From the very first week, Juniper made her opinions known. If she didn't like the food, she said so. If she didn't like being picked up the wrong way, she said so louder. Her family started calling her the negotiator because everything with her came with terms and conditions. She wasn't aggressive, she wasn't scared, she was simply never going to pretend she felt something she didn't. And somehow, that honesty became the thing everyone loved most about her. Neighbors would stop by just to hear her talk back. Visitors would laugh nervously the first time she opened her mouth at them, like she was mid-argument. Even the mail carrier learned her routine, pausing at the gate just to say, "Morning, Juniper," and wait for her reply. She always gave one, a short, sharp little sound somewhere between a meow and a warning, followed by a look that seemed to say she'd allow it just this once. But her family knew something the internet didn't. Underneath all that noise was one of the gentlest cats they had ever met. She slept curled against her owner's neck every single night. She waited by the door every evening, tail flicking, eyes locked on the driveway. She was dramatic, yes, but she was theirs, completely and loudly. But what happened next would change everything. Then, at 11 months old, Juniper became pregnant. Her family hadn't planned it. A brief, unsupervised visit to a relative's home had done what nature does. But from the moment they found out, there was only one thought in everyone's mind. What on earth would her kittens be like? The pregnancy made Juniper louder than ever. She complained about her food bowl being moved 2 inches. She complained about the laundry basket taking up her spot on the bed. She even complained about the weather, pacing at the window and announcing her displeasure to no one in particular. She stood guard over blankets, boxes, and eventually the birthing nest itself, daring anyone to question her choices. And then, one quiet evening, it happened. 4 kittens arrived one after another, small and damp and blinking into the world for the first time. Juniper cleaned each one with fierce, exhausted devotion, pausing only to glare at anyone who came too close. For the first few days, the kittens were silent, tiny, sleepy, and utterly unremarkable in the way all newborn kittens are. Her family exhaled. Maybe, they thought, the drama had skipped a generation. They watched the nest carefully, taking photos every morning, half expecting to see tiny versions of Juniper's temper and half hoping the babies would simply be calm. Juniper barely left the box. She groomed each kitten in turn, nudging the smallest one back into place whenever she wandered too far, hissing softly at the family cat who dared to peek inside. Even exhausted, even sleep-deprived, she never once softened her boundaries. If anything, motherhood made her sharper. Little did they know, this was only the beginning. I see you still haven't subscribed. Honestly, that breaks my heart a little. Hit that button right now before the story continues, because what came next wasn't just a litter of kittens, it was proof. And then, at exactly 2 weeks old, everything changed. One by one, the kittens opened their eyes, and one by one, they opened their mouths. The first kitten to protest was the smallest of the litter, a scrappy little copy of her mother down to the same golden coat and the same folded ears. She was placed gently into a cardboard box for a photo, and within seconds, her mouth flew open in an exact, unmistakable replica of Juniper's signature scream. Her owner froze, phone in hand, unable to believe what she was seeing. It wasn't just a coincidence, it was a mirror. The second kitten did it during feeding time, protesting the temperature of her bottle with the same wide-mouthed outrage her mother used on strangers. The third did it when moved from her favorite blanket, twisting her tiny body and letting out a sound far too loud for something so small. The fourth kitten, the boldest of the litter, saved his protest for the family dog, who made the mistake of sniffing too close to the nest. He arched, hissed, and opened his mouth in that same unmistakable shape, ears already threatening to fold the way his mother's had. The dog backed away immediately. By the time the fourth kitten joined in, the family realized something remarkable. This wasn't behavior the kittens had learned by watching their mother for months. They were days old. They hadn't had time to learn anything. What they found would stay with that family for the rest of their lives. Juniper hadn't just given birth to kittens who looked like her. She had given birth to kittens who felt safe enough, this early, this fast, to already speak up the exact same way she always had. Veterinarians who visited the litter were stunned by how vocal the kittens were for their age. "Most kittens this young barely make a sound," one of them said. "These four are already negotiating." One even joked that the family should start selling tickets. The family started to understand something they hadn't expected to learn from a cat. Juniper's drama was never about being difficult. It was never about being angry or spoiled or hard to love. It was her way of saying clearly and without apology exactly what she needed. And in the safety of her home, with people who listened instead of dismissing her, that honesty had become instinct. Instinct strong enough to pass down in days, not months. It wasn't taught through weeks of watching or months of imitation. It was simply there, waiting the moment each kitten felt safe enough to use it. From that moment on, they saw her differently. The same people who once asked, "Is she okay?" started asking how to raise a kitten with that same fearless confidence. Mothers commented that they recognized the same stubborn honesty in their own toddlers. Strangers said watching Juniper argue with her humans and now watching her tiny copies do the same felt oddly comforting, like proof that being loud about your needs was never something to be ashamed of. One comment simply read, "She didn't raise quiet kittens, she raised honest ones." That comment got more likes than almost anything the family had ever posted. Juniper still argues with her humans every single day. Now she does it surrounded by 4 small golden echoes of herself, each one learning that in this house, speaking up is not just allowed, it's celebrated. Her family jokes that they didn't just adopt a difficult cat all those years ago, they adopted a philosophy, one that somehow, without a single lesson, made it into the next generation in the space of 2 weeks. No training, no demonstration, just a mother who never once apologized for being exactly who she was. Because maybe that's what real love looks like sometimes. Not quiet, not polite, just loud enough and safe enough to be completely and unapologetically yourself. Do you think confidence like that is something animals are simply born with, or something they learn from feeling truly safe? Or is it a little bit of both? Tell me in the comments.